Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law, not even the President of the United States.
Good evening. We are coming on the air with breaking news tonight. President Biden has made a decision to pardon his son, Hunter.
I'm a pardon above the legal system, I ride. I'm pardon while my dad's still alive.
All right, now let me start off by saying this. I wasn't going to do this video. I promise you I wasn't. But this week my heart was broken. It was broken by my own people. I have been seeing nothing but love and support and hopes and prayers or thoughts and prayers to the President of the United States of America. And as we get into this whole situation about how, our president habitually lied in front of the cameras and behind his own press secretary for months, we are going to put Hunter Biden, his son, in the proper context as we speak about him, okay? Let's just keep it real for a second. Hunter Biden, a super predator, as which is described in the 1994 crime bill, orchestrated by none other than his daddy, Joe Biden. He is a super predator, okay? Illegal firearms possessor, a crackhead, all right? A tax evader, okay? This is who we are talking about here. Now, I'm not here to down other people's family members, but, we all have crackheads in our families. And I guarantee you, 99.9999% of all of us who have crackheads in their family never got a pardon from the President of the United States of America. The same president who is responsible for locking up addicts, labeling them super predators. But before we go any further, let's start from the beginning. Hunter Biden pleads guilty or tries to plead guilty for illegally possession of a firearm as a drug addict and a tax evader. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's see how the president responded to this when every time he was asked about, hey, bro, are you going to pardon your son?
As we sit here in Normandy, your son Hunter is on trial, and I know that you cannot speak about an ongoing federal prosecution. But let me ask you, will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes. I'm extremely proud of my son, Hunter. He has overcome an addiction. He's one of the brightest, most decent men I know. And I am satisfied that I'm not going to do anything. I said I abide by the jury decision, and I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
It did not stop there. He sent Karen, however you want to pronounce her name, Jean-Pierre, center stage. Get out there and be somebody, baby, and lie for me.
Will the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear, and I said no.
Okay, let me go back to the first question of the briefing. I know you said not a lot's changed since yesterday and that it's a personal matter, but from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Again, you've also said several times that the president would not pardon or commute the sentences for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying he would not.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
I already know the reason why he never said he was going to pardon him before the election. But after the election, he said, well, hell with it. Let's go ahead and do it. Or you could probably say what I'm leaning more towards. Mama Jill said, nah, we pardoned my baby. Okay, y'all lost the election. Save my baby.
Dr. Biden, do you support the pardon of
I really think Jill and his chief of staff of his administration have been making a lot of the calls that's been going on these last few, I would say, years. Years. You know, because he didn't just give him a pardon for what he was trying to plead guilty to or what he pled guilty to. He gave him a pardon all the way back to 2014. Here's the BBC article right here for you. It covers any potential federal crimes the younger Biden may have committed during a period of more than 10 years from January 2014 to December of 2024. That spans a period beyond Hunter Biden's tax and gun offenses and dates back to the year he joined the board of Burisma, a Ukrainian energy company, while his father, then U.S. vice president, had a key role in U.S. policy towards you-know-what. And to make it even worse, here is his reasoning, his statement after pardoning his son, and I'm still trying to figure out who wrote it. I just don't have that feeling that Joe Biden would have said this if he wasn't completely comatose.
Repeatedly insisting in public that he wouldn't do it. And to defend his decision, the president adopted an argument that could have come straight out of Donald Trump's playbook. Blame your political opponents and claim unfair persecution. President Biden said this, quote, "The charges in his cases came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son. And that is wrong."
So look, let's get into mainstream news, responses, criticisms, comments. And I have been very surprised about how CNN has been covering this, especially MSNBC too.
This pardon is just deflating. For those of us who have been out there for a few years now yelling about what a unique threat Donald Trump is, for Joe Biden to do something like this, Trump, nobody's above the law, we've been screaming. Well, Joe Biden just made clear his son Hunter is above the law. Donald Trump lies every time he opens his mouth, we've been screaming. Joe Biden repeatedly lied about this. The politicization of the justice system, Donald Trump and his people have been screaming. Well, that's exactly what Biden said here.
Joe, is this a politics of purity? I mean, we had Donald Trump pardon Sheriff Joe Arpaio during his term, and there wasn't a lot of hue and cry about that. I mean, this is a father who saw his first wife killed, his daughter killed in a car crash, his two young sons survive. One goes on to have real difficulties with addiction. Another dies because of cancer. This is a family that's really troubled. I mean, yes, he said he wasn't going to do this, but did anyone ever believe that that was the case? I mean, I would have put good money on this happening. Like, are many people going to be surprised that a father who is also the president would do this for his son?
Now I'm going to say this, and this may come off as a little harsh, but I can give a damn about whatever trauma that you've been through when you inflict more trauma on people that had nothing to do with the trauma that you went through, right? I can care less about your wife and a car accident and all that other shit. I can care less about that because the trauma that you caused for my community for decades far exceeds whatever the hell you've been through. So dismiss me with all that. And that's what I'm talking about. Part of the shit that pisses me off when I hear people bring that up. Oh, he's protecting his son. What about the countless mothers and fathers that couldn't protect their sons or their daughters from that 1994 crime bill that were labeled super predators? For this cocksucker to turn around and pardon his son for the same crimes that he had never even thought about pardoning other people for. But let's get into what CNN had to say about it.
NBC News reported that the president and his top aides met this summer and decided two things: that they were going to keep this option open, but they were going to publicly maintain that they would not pardon Hunter Biden through statements from Joe Biden and statements from the White House press secretary. They had a meeting, they coordinated the lie, I guess for political purposes, and now that he's leaving office, he is going back on what he told the American people. This isn't simply changing your mind. This is just fulfilling what you always intended to do. No Republican is shocked that he is doing this. What I am shocked at is the duplicity of the President of the United States and his top aides to come together and form this lie and stick to it this entire time.
The reality is a full and unconditional pardon back to, what was it, January 2014, just when, of course, he joined the board of Burisma. So in my opinion, I think you'll see more pardons. I think you'll see more pardons that are actually tied to some of the things that potentially show that Joe Biden benefited.
But he was charged because his name is Hunter Biden, not because his name is Hunter Smith or Hunter Jones. This is the Republican Party targeting the son of the president.
Who runs the Justice Department?
Period, end of story.
Who runs the Justice Department
He pardoned
today?
his son, one, because it was a witch hunt to begin with. Two,
I am so shocked to hear you use the term witch hunt.
Yeah.
Come on, Congressman.
Two,
can we just establish a fact?
Hold on, let me finish. It was a witch hunt to begin with. That's why he pardoned his son. Secondly, it's his son. He's his dad. He's going to protect him. Third, we have Donald Trump coming into office, nominating people like Kash Patel to lead the FBI.
Good.
This is an entirely new reality that the American people are dealing with. He needs to protect his son.
This is one of the central critiques right now of the people defending the president. When you call this a witch hunt, undermining the very Justice Department that this president leads, basically using Trump's language, which he has used to malign law enforcement during his presidency and after. Two wrongs don't make a right. I mean, is that not a principle anymore?
That is a principle, but when your son is clearly being targeted by another party for political reasons, and they will continue to target him and others with someone like Kash Patel and this president being in place, the Republican Party and Donald Trump, they forget norms, forget rules. They are changing the game as we play it. This is who they are.
Now, I'm going to give you guys a little history lesson about how I felt about Kamala Harris. And this is not to get into the election. I'm just walk with me. I'm finna take you somewhere, right? Part of the reason why I was so enthused about Kamala in 2020 was because I watched her in the Senate hearings that she would have, and I saw how strong and what her presentation was, right? She was strong, intelligent. She wasn't about playing no games. She didn't take no BS off of nobody. She corrected people. She stood tall. She stood 10 toes down. I was like, damn, I like her. I like this sister. But after this last experience, or, with her being the vice president and, just seeing how she was used or misused, and, however you want to describe it, it made me start to look at people different. It made me start to pay more attention to, people who look like me in, the political atmosphere, right? I don't look at Hakeem Jeffries the same as I used to, because of how he stood beside Joe Biden saying that he was cognitive, knowing that he wasn't. He lied. A bold-faced lie. You just watched Jamal Bowman on CNN. I used to like him until I saw his grand gesturing in front of the Capitol with some other Republican acting like he was upset about a bill that wasn't getting passed. And I was just looking at it, I was like, man, this is so performative. Okay, and get you out of here too. But there's another sister who went viral not too long ago for going back and forth with, I forgot her name, Margaret or something like that. It was a white lady who said something about her weave or eyelashes or something. Her name is Jasmine Crockett, right? She went viral. I said, okay, I like her energy. Let me pay close attention to her. And not to my surprise, she showed to be who she truly is. Check this out.
Well, I won't pretend to speak for the entire caucus, but I will say, way to go, Joe. Let me be the first one to congratulate the president for deciding to do this, because at the end of the day, we know that we have a 34-count convicted felon that is about to walk into the White House. So for anyone that wants to clutch their pearls now because he decided that he was going to pardon his son, I would say take a look in the mirror. Because we also know that when it comes to this cabinet has more people accused of sexual assault than any incoming cabinet probably ever in the history of America. So we are living in unprecedented times, and we know that this was completely political. As someone who serves on the Oversight Committee, this was gamesmanship the entire time.
Now, wasn't the Democratic Party making it their top priority to make sure that they're separated. They're separate from whatever they label MAGA supporters as, or the Republican Party as, or the far right as. They made the attempt to show how crazy, racist, elitists that they were, trying to separate themselves from them. But now they sound just like them, right? And the whole felon is finna be the president of the United States of America. I know this may turn some of you guys off, but let's just be real. The things that man was prosecuted for was things that he supposedly did years before he even ran for president. So if it was really so bad of what he did, if it really was so egregious of what he did, why wasn't he charged with that before he ran for president? These are the things that the central part of America was looking at. The center left, the center right, the people who vote either way. It swings back and forth. These were the things people were looking at. Like, yo, come on, man. We see now that y'all trying to take this man to court, hoping that this man will not run again, or hope he won't be able to run again, hoping that he'll be arrested or something like that. But you folks can't even change the law. Y'all haven't even tried to change the law federally that you cannot, change it from you can't vote if you were ever convicted of a federal crime, but you can be a president. Well, guess what? It's a slap in your face for not doing your due diligence. And you can't use that. You can't use that as a scapegoat for what Joe Biden did. I'm sorry. I'm not riding with it. I'm not rocking with it. Don't talk to me about Donald Trump. I'm tired of the what about isms every time somebody critiques one side of a party or one candidate or one politician. It's their favorite thing to bring up Trump. I mean, let's just be honest, right? If you're in a relationship and every time you try to hold your partner accountable for something that they did wrong, and every time you do that, they bring up stuff that you've done every time. What would you say about that? That's not a healthy relationship, right? I mean, come on. Let's be for real around here. Let's be for real. Like, it bothers me that so many people are just so okay with this. I mean, I was shocked that it was that much of a, issue on The View. I mean, damn, there was a surprise.
Listen, I get it. I mean, we got a convicted felon as president.
Yes.
I take issue with lying about it. I wanted to ask him here when he came on The View, but the thought was he said so many times he wasn't going to pardon him. That, to me, is lying to the public. I felt bad for Karine Jean-Pierre that she repeatedly had to say that he wasn't going to pardon him. This is why people don't trust Washington. That's why they don't trust politicians. And I know a lot of us like Joe Biden, but I find it disappointing and bad for our institutions.
We have a convicted felon in the White House. Those questions should not be asked of anyone, anytime, anywhere.
Well,
that is the bottom line. That policy needs to be changed. The other thing is, Trump did escape responsibility for all his crimes. He's nominating Charles Kushner, who he pardoned, as you mentioned, as the ambassador to France. Do you know what a nice, cushy job that is that any felon would like?
I'd say most of us think it's okay for him to pardon Hunter because of what you just said, that so many of the people who committed this crime do not get prosecuted. Imagine the guilt that Joe Biden has to live with, thinking that his son, his only surviving son, is getting prosecuted because he is his son.
Why lie about it for so long?
I'd stop calling it a lie. He's the president, the sitting president, and he can do whatever he wants to until his time is up.
I don't like that president. Donald Trump's about to be president.
Well, that's what the
presidency should be bigger than his feelings.
It should be, but
he's a very small man.
This is
Joe Biden is such a family man to the point he still does not claim that grandbaby that he has outside with that super predator, right? Hunter Biden. I mean, we'll be talking about can you please stop saying lying, stop using that. What other word can you use? He lied. He motherfucking lied. More than once. Come on, man. He knew the whole time he was, or whomever knew they was finna pardon that boy, man. They knew that whole time. They knew the whole damn time. But, you know, they keep bringing up who Trump pardoned. Let's get into who Trump pardoned. So we got Steve Bannon, Charles Kushner, Paul Manafort, Michael Flynn, Roger Stone, Albert Pirro, Rod, however you say his last name, Lil Weezy, and Joe Arpaio, however you pronounce that. Now, here's the last thing that really set it off for me, that pissed me off. Joe Biden, for the first time, being seen after pardoning his son. Check out how he, reacts as he's being asked about why did he pardon his son.
We're departing this way. Thank you so much.
Welcome to America. Man, if you black and that don't piss you off, man, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to say. I just don't. I don't know what else to do. I mean, Democrats are now using the same talking points as Donald Trump, calling it a witch hunt, saying it's a political hit job. Now you got Democrats cheering on and say, yeah, because now we're finna have a felon in the White House. But hey, I just had to do this because I just was placed on my heart, man, because like I said, y'all breaking my heart out there. Y'all really are. Y'all are breaking my heart out there. Anybody who's riding with this, man, it's just sad. It is so sad. Millions of brothers and sisters in the penitentiary who couldn't get a pardon. Wesley Snipes, he couldn't even get a pardon for tax evasion. That man had to serve over 2 years. You think he could? You think he didn't want a pardon? They're gonna leave Blade locked up like that, and they're gonna pardon a crackhead. Wesley wasn't even no crackhead.
The forgotten pardon. My fellow citizens. It is strong. It's my duty to report
the true problems of our nation. We've vigorously developed this resource to be of great benefit.
Where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause.
I will be eternally grateful for your support.